Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Modern Mining. Today I came down to the mining farm here and I noticed something that I haven't seen in a long time. And let's see if you can spot it. Those fans are spinning and they are normally not spinning. So this right here is a very budget salad rig that I put together about a month ago. And Salad is the AI platform where you can basically rent out your hardware to Salad, and they hook you up with customers who are trying to buy compute for different AI workloads. And my issue had been that my 3070 GPU just wasn't good enough. It wasn't getting any jobs. And so it was really sitting here not making any money at all. But today, something has changed. And now this rig is actually making about as much money as my 3080 rig, which is kind of crazy. So today we're going to get into what changed. Why is my 3070 all of a sudden making money on Salad, also how to get started with Salad, who I think Salad is good for. Sorry guys, I realized I didn't have my mic on for that first clip. So I really want to discuss who is Salad good for. And I always kind of go back to the stereotypical example of if you're sitting in a dorm room or an apartment with free power and you have a pretty decent gaming PC, how can you earn a little bit of extra money on the side when you're not using that PC? Because generally, if you're in those situations, even 30, 50 bucks a month is a pretty decent amount and can go a long way. So let's take a closer look at the specs of my two rigs and then see how much money they're making. So for my two Salad rigs, I've obviously got this Founders Edition 3070 with a 3600 Ryzen CPU. This has 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM, and then it has a budget 750 watt power supply. If you didn't see the video of me building this rig, I will put it up in the top right now. Right here, you can see that Corsair 32 gig stick of RAM, and then just a simple cheap air cooler. So this rig, very budget. Forget the exact price, but can't be more than $500. And then down here, I have my bigger Salad rig. And this one is a 3080 GPU, a 5900X CPU, and then it's got two sticks of RAM here, or two kits. One of them is a 32 and one of them is a 16 for a total of 48 gigs of DDR4 RAM. And then I've got this PC right here that is hooked up to this rig. I need to get like a KVM so I can switch it back and forth between those. That would be very nice. But the reason I have this monitor is that I found that if I have a monitor plugged into these rigs, even if the monitor is not on, it greatly reduces my power cost. And since I don't have free power, I'm doing everything I can to optimize my rigs so that they spend the least amount of power to generate the most amount of money. So we'll look at this closer upstairs, but let's take a quick look here. We'll refresh this and do the 24 hours. The green rig here would be my 3080 rig. So it is pretty consistently generating a couple dollars a day. Right here, $2, $1, 140. This is 180. But then in the last 24 hours or so, my 3070 has picked up some jobs and it's actually making on some hours much more than my 3080. So right here, it's making 8 cents per hour, and my 3080 is only making a fourth of a cent. So it's like 20 times better. Now, when the 3080 picks back up a job, it's about 1 cent more per hour. But that's the crazy thing, is that that rig costs much more than that rig. So let's go upstairs and look at why are these low budget Salad rigs all of a sudden making money, and how can you capitalize it, and how do you even get Salad set up if you haven't looked into it yet. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so I mentioned earlier that I'm always looking for what is kind of the best software for somebody who has free power to make money on a PC. Now, we'll get into it shortly, what PCs make money and what ones don't. But quickly, I want to just kind of say that if Salad is finding jobs on your hardware, let's say 3070s and up, because that's what I'm using downstairs and has a job right now, then Salad is easily the most profitable one. But it definitely depends on if you're getting jobs or not. So for sure, if you have like a 5090 or a 4090, then you're going to be making honestly bank on salads. Some of these cards are making $8 to $10 a day. But if you have kind of the lower guys, then you have some of the other options like Nice Hash or Cryptex and all that stuff. But if you're finding jobs, then salad is definitely more profitable than those other ones. So that's why times like this are so exciting, that when I start finding a job on a 3070, that's a good opportunity for people. So here is Salad's kind of demand chart, which GPUs are in the highest demand, and really it's all dependent on the VRAM of the GPU. So in this case, my 3080 only has 10 gigabytes of VRAM. It's in moderate demand with 32 gigabytes of system RAM. And my 3070 is in low demand, though that is probably more towards the medium range because it did finally pick up a job. Now, why did it all of a sudden pick up a job? Well, Salad just got a very big customer who needs a lot of GPUs, and they specifically asked for kind of the bigger ones, the 3090s, the 4090s, but there's just not enough of those cards on the Salad platform. And so this customer basically had to switch up and say, all right, we'll take it all. We'll take 3070s if that's all you have. So that's why right now 3070s are profitable, and they are working because there's another big customer, which is promising because if Salad can continue to lock in these customers, then that's going to be super beneficial to everyone who's trying to make a quick dollar at home. So if you want to download Salad, I will leave my referral link down below and in the pinned comment. It is a referral link, and I appreciate the support. I don't get any sort of commission, but it's just a good way for them to track how many people I've sent onto the platform. It is super easy to set up. I will say that there's a couple settings you need to enable and disable. I personally don't use the bandwidth sharing setting. But besides that, everything else is turned on. I also turn off the crypto mining setting. So turn those two off, but everything else, adult content, leave that on. And I forget what all the other ones are, but basically it's called chopping power is at 5 out of 6 on both of my rigs. So let's take a little bit closer look at my earnings here from the past 24 hours. I'll give this a refresh so we get the latest update here. Don't mind this drop. That's because this hour just started. This will kind of level out. So right now, my 3070 is the pink rig, and it was making 8 cents an hour earlier today, which is actually crazy. That's over $1.60 a day for a 3070. And just for comparison, let's see what a 3070 is making on the best mining coin possible. The best mining coin possible would be 43 cents revenue. So you can see when my 3070 is making 8 cents an hour, or even right now it's making 6 cents an hour, that's $1.20 a day, or a little higher, like $1.40 a day, which is 3 to 4 times higher than you can make crypto mining. And that is why, if you're finding jobs, Salad is one of the better passive income plays for different rigs and hardware. Now, I definitely wouldn't recommend going out and building a bunch of these rigs because unless you have free power, it is going to be pretty slim margins. But if you already have a PC and you're not doing anything with it, especially during the winter. Now, I know we're going into summer right now, but during the winter, free heat and you get paid for it, that is a win-win situation right there. So let's talk about this a little bit further. Once you go ahead and get your balance, so my lifetime balance is $24. I've been shopping for 535 hours. So once you want to get paid out, you have enough money that you want to get paid out, there's a couple different options here, and a lot of them are pretty nice. So there's obviously the gift cards and different things like that. But what I like about it is you can actually just get straight cash from them. So for a $20 MasterCard here, you need to use $24 of your Salad earnings to get a $20 card. Now, there's also PayPal, which is a little bit better here. So if you get a PayPal gift card, a $100 PayPal gift card, you have to have $110 in your Salad balance. Now, this is one of my biggest gripes with the platform. They're already obviously taking a little bit of money as you are doing the mining. They're kind of taking their cut, I would imagine. I don't know what that is, but there's got to be some amount. It hurts that they also take a 10% fee even when you cash out. So in my opinion, sure, if you do a $20 gift card, a 10% fee is fine. But if you save up $100 on the platform, you shouldn't still have to pay that 10% fee. Let's drop this one to a 5% fee, and maybe it only costs 105 salad dollars for the PayPal gift card. But there is a ton of different payout options here, which is nice, a lot of flexibility, and they even have some for United Kingdom, Germany, all that kind of stuff. So that's the salad platform, guys. I really just wanted to give a quick kind of update that, hey, my 3070 is mining and it is making money, which is awesome. Or I guess I should say chopping. If you want to learn more about salad or how to build a rig, I will leave 2 salad videos up right here. As always, thanks for watching Modern Mining.